welcome to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. It's Wednesday night at 6:05. We appreciate you tuning in. A lot of football coming your way on this show. We've got the new University of Redlands head football coach, Jim Good. He will join us live. We also have Minnesota Vikings running back Alexander Mattison, the pride of Cardinal City. He's also joining the show. And in our final segment, this guy is a local legend. He's been around for a long, long time, but officially retiring from coaching today, the great John Corona, most recently at King High School doing their track and field program. But leading off the show right now, it's our pledge to you to talk high school football here in the Inland Empire every single show. It's one of our best friends. It's Bert Esposito, head coach at the Temecula Valley Golden Bears. And Coach, I appreciate you jumping on the Inland Sports Show because I know you guys as a football program have a big fundraiser at Killarney's tonight. So thanks for hopping on real quick. What are you going to order tonight? Like, do you have like a go-to food that you always go to?
No, I'm just going to let my senses guide me.
That's not a bad thing. And usually about this time of the night, like if you're like me, I'm so hungry, like everything looks good on the menu. But Coach, like right now, you said you've got guys in the weight room. As we go through this football offseason right now, I know, is that maybe one of the most important things right now to build up for the season, something that we didn't really have a whole lot of for this past spring season, is that weight room time, right, to get ready for a real football season?
You hit that right on the head for us. We were not allowed to go in the weight room pretty much for over a year. We tried to move the stuff outside, put it underneath the stadiums, but here at Temecula, there was no way to do that. So we were a year behind in the weight room, and that was a frustrating part of the small spring season, no doubt. But now it's just, we have the weight room open 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, 5 days a week since May. And that's our main concern right now.
Well, Coach, I see some of those CIF plaques on the wall behind you. Is it safe to say you guys are still the reigning Division VII CIF Southern Section champions, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess that's how it goes. I don't know. I don't feel like it. It's been so long. It's like I've almost forgotten. The kids that played for me on that last one, heck, they're in their sophomore year in college now.
That's what I was going to say. It does feel like so long ago. I know we had this abbreviated spring season, just a couple of months ago, but a real football season, back in 2019, does it feel that long ago? And does this year feel like a normal year that we're getting ready for?
Yeah, first of all, it does feel like a long time ago, no doubt about it. The thing that I feel most about this coming up season is I feel like we're starting all over. It's tough to build a culture and keep it when you don't even see your kids. And we got a lot of new kids, young kids, and I haven't been able to do the day by day grind and just establish the culture. So I really do feel like we're starting all over again.
Well, Coach, looking back at this spring, we fought so hard to get a season, and it was great, especially for our seniors, to let them get out there, put on those uniforms a couple more times and play football. And it was great, but, I want to hear from you because I've talked to a lot of other coaches. They're like, hey, it was great, glad we did it, but it was tough. It was not easy to get ready and then play a short spring season. Is that kind of the same way you feel?
Oh, yeah. No, there were so many factors. I mean, just the continuity, like I said just now about the weight room, there was not a whole lot of that. Continuity of prepping and speed work. I mean, for me, I felt like it was great for the seniors to have closure. That's really what it came down to. And, seeing the young kids, what can they do, getting them ready for the fall season. But yeah, it was bizarre.
Yeah, so for your returning players, obviously you play to win the game, but for your returning players, did you use the spring as a time to just kind of develop, get better, work on some things so that you're ready for this fall season?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we played a lot of kids. We rotated them probably more than we normally would, just because, we wanted to give the seniors a good go. And, you had to gauge how the game was going. And our first two opponents, they really took it to us. And then we were able to play in the last two So we did a lot of things, and we felt how the game was going, but really just tried to play as many young kids as we could without cheating the seniors out of, success.
Mm-hmm. Coach, call me old-fashioned, but I feel like it's not the summer until we have the Temecula Valley passing tournament. And I'm so happy it's back. It's July 10th. Are you excited to have this back? Because I see it as a signal of a normal offseason. We've got the big 7-on-7 tournament that leads into the high school football season.
Yeah, no doubt. We tried everything we could last year to pull it off. Obviously, that was tough, but we were able to go to Bullhead City and host a smaller version of it right before Christmas break. So that was okay. But yeah, no, it's a full tournament, 24 teams from all over. I've got a list of them all. We got 20 teams playing or competing in the lineman part, and 9 schools are going to compete in the punting, field goal, and snapping competition in the morning. So right now it's just kind of waking everybody up and going, yeah, you remember we did it 2 years ago? And they're like, huh? So it's a whole new clan of people that I got to get going.
Hey, Coach, finally, before we let you go, what do you like about your team going into this upcoming season? Maybe name drop a couple of the guys that you expect to be studs for the Golden Bears this upcoming year. What do you like about this squad?
Oh, again, the leadership is much better as we move along and progress over the years. Kids are understanding our culture better. And we got guys like Zach Zella. It's going to be his team to ride out as a quarterback. He's worked his way, competed with Christian Kretz, who's a phenomenal athlete who can play all over the place. And we have some other great athletes, no doubt about it. But what I'm really excited about is we got some great young kids coming up. We may start as many as 5 sophomores, but they are talented kids. And but just from the sense of the culture, I'm a big culture guy. And I really like these kids. I mean, what's not to like about a Golden Bear? Their academics are off the charts. We were a 3.45 GPA this last season, which was the best of the other 2 seasons I had, and we were pretty good then. So that culture of academics, students, good in the classroom, all that stuff, it's great. It's great.
And it must make your life a lot easier when the grade checks come and you're like, you know what? For the most part, I don't have to worry about it. My guys are good. We're going to have the whole squad for the rest of the season.
Pretty much. I mean, our best players are our best students. There's no doubt about it. And I'm really shocked. I haven't had one here in the last 3 years, a varsity kid that became ineligible. I haven't had one. So, the younger kids are learning, hey, this is what we do. And it's pretty exciting. And yeah, I don't worry about that. Even the college recruiters are like, yeah, we know your kids have everything they need. All they got to do is, pick us.
That's awesome. Coach Esposito, thank you so much. We'll let you run off because we know you have the big fundraiser at Killarney's tonight for the Temecula Valley football program, but we do appreciate it. And you'll probably see me on the sidelines in a couple Saturdays down there at the passing tournament.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. That is Bert Esposito, head football coach for the Temecula Valley Golden Bears. Thank you very much, Coach. We're going to take a quick commercial break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, he is the brand new head football coach at the University of Redlands. It's Jim Good. He's next on the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
The time is now. The Boost Training Center is open for business and ready to help all the athletes across the Inland Empire. Doesn't matter the age or the sport, if you go to Boost Training with Coach Ray Bass, they're going to make you bigger, faster, stronger. So if you're out there looking to train this offseason, talking about all you football players especially, check out boosttrainingsystems.com. That is the website. You can find a strength and speed class just for you this offseason season so you can be even bigger, better, faster, stronger this upcoming season. Give them a call or text at 951-532-4904 to reserve your spot today. Strength and speed training at Boost Training System. And don't forget, enrollment is open right now for the Bass School. That's Boost Alternative School for student athletes. You can check out what they have to offer at boosttrainingsystems.com. That is the website once again, and you can enroll for the 2021-2022 school year. Again, this is not an online school. This is a private school specifically for 7th and 8th grade boys. Check it out today because space is limited. The #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit KenSportingGoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods.
Here's my hope, guys. Speaking of, Kawhi Leonard, the IE guy, the pride of Riverside King High School. Did you know this? There's a chance that we could have a King versus King player in the NBA Finals if the Clippers were able to make the Finals and Kawhi Leonard played. We got Tony Snell in the Eastern Conference, who's also a King High School guy. He plays for the Atlanta Hawks. I was hoping, man, if we had Clippers versus Hawks, we'd have King versus King Wolf in the NBA Finals. But right now, the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're down 2-1 against the Milwaukee Bucks. So both of our King High School guys, it's not looking good.
And then over the weekend, I saw that Bellinger had a walk-off, so that was cool. The Dodgers seem to be kind of getting it together to try to make the run. We'll see.
Yeah, kind of rekindling that magic, right? Like what a World Series champion is supposed to look like, having the big pitching performances, the big hits from their star players. Yeah, they're kind of looking like the Dodgers, that's how the Dodgers should look. Check it out on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m. Big thanks to Coach Bert Esposito from Temecula Valley for joining us live as he's heading off to the big fundraiser for the Golden Bears tonight at Killarney's down in Temecula. Now we're talking a little college football, and I can't wait to see the Bulldogs back on the field this fall. Joining us on the show, this will be the first time I think I get to call him the new head coach at the University of Redlands officially as of tomorrow, July 1st. It is the great Jim Good. So Coach, do you get the big corner office now, the big suite where Coach Maynard was? I mean,
that's an ironic question that you asked that. That's the biggest office in our building, and we have a pretty decent sized staff, and I hate having one guy in that big old office. I mean, Coach was very deserving of having that office, and with COVID and spacing and everything else, we've talked about kind of changing some offices up, and I may keep my corner closet office that I have currently that I share with Rick LaCour, our offensive line coach. We may boot Rick out and put him in that big office along with the offensive staff, and that would be the offensive room, and then Joey Mariani and David Lord would have the defensive room that they share currently. So Matt Moore and Rick and Greg Robbins and Charlie Yeager, Tommy Garcia, those guys would be in the offensive room, and then the defense needs to meet, they'll move into the conference room. So, but that's still to be determined a little bit.
Well, Coach, I know official, it's tomorrow as the new head coach as you take over for the longtime head coach Mike Maynard out there at the University of Redlands. But you've been at his side for the last, 10 years at the U of R. What are some things maybe you picked up along the way from Coach Maynard that you're like, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This guy's coached and seen a lot of football. There's some things that you guys already do well at the University of Redlands. What are some things maybe that you don't want to tinker with too much going forward?
Gosh, I mean, you're asking that question, and I know that's a question that's going to be asked a lot because there really isn't things that are broke. And mental toughness and extreme desire will definitely be the footprint of our program. And Coach would talk a lot about attitude, character, and effort, and the controllable things. And I'll probably expand on some controllables, but mental toughness and extreme desire will definitely be in the forefront. We take pride in how hard our guys play, how tough they are physically and mentally. When the Bulldogs take the field, I want them to still play with great character and toughness that they always have.
Well, Coach, as we get ready for the fall football season, I know you guys tried so hard to get a spring game in. So how much have you missed having a game against another opponent? I know you guys did like an inter-squad kind of thing, but, just playing somebody else. I mean, I feel like it's been so long that we're just so anxious to see a real live game at Ted Runner Stadium.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. The hardest thing is to figure out what month it is. And that's how it's been for the last 12, 15 months. This just seems like the longest summer ever before we actually get a play. The spring practice was awesome. It was great to get back together with the staff and the players and develop those relationships and continue the relationships that we had with one another and just experience football and kind of get on that field and get back to the real world. And it's going to be a fun time to have the season start. We're definitely looking forward to it. It'll definitely be fun to actually have an opponent, someone to game plan against, someone to get ready for, and rather than beating on our own guys, beating on someone else.
Well, back in 2019, I mean, you guys were pretty good. I think it was second place, like 6-1 in conference play. That was a pretty good squad. Do you feel like maybe there's still a little bit of momentum? I know that seems so long ago, but do you have some of those guys coming back? And what do you think of this squad going into 2021?
I feel really good. We've got 115 guys that are coming back. And so we have a real good core group. And that's how you really, you asked about what Coach Maynard has done to be successful. And he's always kept a real strong core group of guys that would return. And we have that. And then not only do we have that group of guys returning, but we have a great recruiting class that we're excited about that will definitely add some speed and some things maybe you haven't seen before. For sure, offensively, defensively, our secondary, we're real excited about the group that's coming in. The core group of guys returning, I would say about half of our seniors are coming back. We've got a great program. It's called a 4-1 program of business. We have a lot of business majors, and a lot of them are going to come back for that fifth year and get their MBA. So it actually works out real well for us.
Oh, that's great. Another year of football and get a master's degree, as well. Man, you can't beat that. And Coach Good, this is a question I would normally ask Coach Maynard. The fact that you guys go hard in the Inland Empire, you guys know there's tons of talent here at the high school level here in the IE. I know you guys have some IE players on your Bulldog roster once again. Do you care to name drop a little bit? Who are some of the guys maybe? I know we've talked about Nathan Martinez, Kai Thompson, the running back. Those are some of the guys that we've talked about the last couple of years. But who are some guys maybe that we can look for at the University of Redlands this fall?
Well, we're real excited that Nathan Martinez is coming back. I mean, he's got some great job opportunities in the business world that he's going to kind of put pause on, and he's going to come back and be as of right now, our returning starting quarterback. And Kai Thompson's right now working at a pizza place, and he's going to come back for his senior year. He does a great job working in our housing as a dorm supervisor. But a guy that you may know about is Bert Virgil. He's a guy that was going to come back in the spring. He had some things come up and took a little bit break during the spring, but now he's full go, ready to come back. And I don't know if there's a better IE football player than Bret Virgil. Chad was a great player for us, his brother, in the defensive backfield. But I tell you what, Brett and Nathan Martinez battling out at quarterback, and we've got a couple other guys that have come in that will that aren't from the IE, but that are good football players. They're going to challenge at that spot too.
I'll tell you what, Coach, man, Bret Virgil was so fun to watch at Heritage High School, and I believe he was a 3-year starter. He was a sophomore starting at quarterback for Heritage and led them to a CIF Central Section or a Central Division championship. I feel like he's a guy, whether he's playing quarterback or maybe like how Chad did, played like defensive back. I feel like he's one of those guys. He's a football player. You could probably put him in a lot of different spots, and he's just going to be good out there.
Yeah, he's a tough blue-collar guy. I think he can play just about anywhere besides maybe O-line, D-line. And you could probably argue play D-end. I mean, I don't know if you've seen him lately, but, boy, he's really put together. And he's a tough player. He's got great speed, throws the ball well, definitely a versatile player.
So, Coach, what's the order of business right now? What can you do during the summer right now to get ready? I don't know if you've got any kids on campus right now or if they come back in August, but what are some things that you can do? Because, again, July 1st, officially the head coach tomorrow, what are some things that you can do that you can feel like, hey, the Bulldogs are moving in the right direction, we're getting better, we're improving to be ready for that first game of the season?
Well, we just finished up our camp season. We had 6 camps this year. We had 2,000 players on our campus that have come through our camps. We had a bunch of Pac-12 schools. We had over 40 institutions represent their schools by sending their staffs to our camps. And that's a great opportunity to get guys on campus for recruiting and gets the name out as far as to the area and actually really nationally. We had a player from Apple Valley come down and the University of Michigan staff was on our campus, and within a week, he was offered and committed to Michigan. So that does a lot for the local area, gives opportunities for local guys to be seen by schools all over the country. And I'll be honest with you, that's a lot of work. Coach Mariani, with what he does with our check-in process and the rest of our staff. And so you talk about what's the work that we're getting done, ready to go for this next season. Right now we are, and I'm just being honest with you, we're taking a break. We're going to rest up a little bit. Our players currently are lifting weights and doing everything they need to do. But our staff right now is going to take a little bit of break for the 4th of July and enjoy family time. And we'll wind it back up in the middle of July and get ourselves going with our full-time meetings and everything.
As it should be. And I suspect, Coach, this past spring was probably more intense than you would normally have, right, during a spring, because you guys were in full pads. You were having, looked like real practices. I was, had the opportunity to go out there a little bit. So was this spring a good time to really get in some good, valuable work to get ready for this fall season?
It was, and you got to understand, even though, it was not a regular spring. The check-in process to get these guys to practice, the testing protocols that we had, there was just so much more to it than just football. It was unlike anything I've ever been a part of. And so it wore on you a little bit, and that's why it's a good time to take a break to get ready for the upcoming season. But we did get a lot of work in. There's no doubt about that. And to have pads, which is unlike normal Division III football, it was a promising thing. We definitely got to block and tackle a little bit more than what we normally would in the spring.
That's great. That's great. Coach Good, I always appreciate the time. I'm a huge fan of the Bulldogs, so I will probably be bugging you again as we get closer to the start of the season. But thank you very much. I really appreciate your time tonight.
Pep, you're awesome. And like I tell you all the time, the IE is so lucky to have you, not just for high school sports, but small college sports, anything having to do with athletics and sports, you're around it. And we're real blessed to have you be a supporter of our program along with IE football, IE sports. And, I've got a kid kind of growing up through IE athletics. She's a 3-sport athlete, I guess now, but what you do is really awesome. And I know the kids really appreciate it. I know the coaches appreciate it. And probably, maybe the most importantly, the parents appreciate it. So keep it going.
Yes, sir. That's the plan. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. That is Coach Jim Good from the University of Redlands, head football coach of the Bulldogs, officially tomorrow taking over the longtime head coach, one of our favorites here on the show, the great Mike Maynard. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, former San Bernardino high school star Alexander Mattison, now with the Minnesota Vikings. We'll have that next on the Inland Sports Show.
96.7 KCal Rocks. What's up? It's Patrick and 40. Hey, man, you're watching the Inland Sports Show right here. Make sure you check out Pep, man. It's Inland Sports with Pep, but he's on every Monday and Thursday morning with Sports with Pep, man. You guys rock.
Calling all athletes. Make sure you're at your very best by training at Boost Performance Training in Corona. Whether you're a football player, soccer player, baseball player, lacrosse, athletes from all sports and all levels train at Boost Performance Training. Led by former Centennial High School football star Ray Bass, you'll develop explosive power, become faster, and add that lean muscle. Don't be left behind and get a leg up on the competition at Boost Performance Training. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for information on their training programs and also on the Bass School. That's the Bass Alternative School for student athletes. Trying to earn a scholarship? Maybe make the varsity team. Get a spot in the starting lineup? Well, let Boost Performance Training help achieve your athletic goals.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. Customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
I've been on my own, heart so cold like December. Heart so froze like a polar ice winter. Made it out the gutter, but the gutter is within us. They niggas tried to do me and they thought I won't remember. Now I got a temper, now I told that Kimber.
That was Alexander Mattison, the pride of Cardinal City, laying it down. Yes, he is in the music game now. This guy's doing everything. Music, he's got his own brand, I Am Gifted. He's got his youth football camp coming up this Friday at San Bernardino High School. And oh, by the way, he's a running back for the Minnesota Vikings. Here is our exclusive interview with the great Alexander Mattison. Now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He is one of our all-time favorite guys, and he's got his big youth football coming back to Cardinal City this Friday. It is the great Alexander Mattison. And Alex, first off, listen, I can only imagine the NFL is grueling, it's physical, it's all those things. So when you get a little bit of time off, you got to relax a little bit, right? I know you still go strong in the off season, but you got to relax a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. You know, I try to make sure that I take my time for my mental health and just to get my body back right. And so that's something big to me, is make sure I have time to debrief and spend some time with family. We just had a little family vacation. Spending some time with them is one of my number one priorities outside of taking care of my body. So yeah, taking that right time is always something I have to do.
But this time of the year, as we're ending June and we're going into July, you're only a couple of weeks away now from training camp. You kind of get that itch, like, man, I can't wait to get back with the guys for real and get ready for that first game of the season.
Oh yeah. You know, it's one of those things that hunger never goes away. You always want, just even the day after the season ends, you know, you want to get back with the guys. And it's something that, for me, not only do I look at the season as a time for us to go out there and play, but just a time to really just be able to do what I love. And I fell in love with this game at the age of 6, and, you know, I'm itching to play it every single day.
You're an NFL guy, so you're already living the dream, but you're also, it sounds like a savvy businessman. You got your own brand. I think you're wearing it right now. I Am Gifted. I mean, talk about your brand a little bit. And it sounds like you've got big goals, even maybe beyond the football field.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I came up with I Am Gifted as a way to incorporate, you know, myself and and my initials and my logo and what it stands for into something bigger than just some merchandise and just a logo, but really a movement, and just let everyone know that they were born with the gift. It's all inside of us. We just have to find it, embrace it, and use it to shed some light into the world. And that's with whatever you do, not only sports, but in anything that you do in life. So I'm really passionate about, the space of that self-empowerment. And I've done a lot of work and research in the area of mental health and how that can positively and negatively affect youth and adults, all the same. But for me, I really have a passion with trying to really just be an impact in this world. So that's really kind of where my brand is. And there's a lot in store for the future.
All right, so let's keep going with that. NFL player, you've got your own brand. And now, if you follow Alex on social media, he's in the music game as well. Have you always had a passion for music? I mean, now you're doing that as well. I don't know where you have all this extra time, but you're finding ways to get things done.
Yeah, man. I just I never really was into music as far as making it myself. I've always loved good music, but my little cousin Cam, who's amazing. He's an up and coming artist, and he's someone that really got me involved with it, just going to studios with him and doing some studio sessions and doing things like that. This past summer with COVID, I just kind of like, you know what, let me just order some equipment and set up a home studio. And I taught myself how to engineer and mix and master. And so, yeah, a lot of the music, I'd say most of the music that I put out, I recorded myself and mixed and mastered myself too.
So is this something you can see yourself, continuing to explore and continuing to maybe, get your brand and your music out there, And I mean, I guess football is a good vehicle, right, to kind of push that out there, because it sounds like you're doing a great job with both, with music and your brand, and you enjoy it. It's part of your passion, it sounds like.
Yeah. It's just, and for me, it's more therapy than it is trying to make it big or trying to, get on a stage in front of people or anything. But kind of just is something where I can release, have some therapy, and at the same time try and, I'm a competitor, so I try and do it to the best of my ability as well. So, if it works out where me and Cam are up doing a show one day, I'm all for it.
I'm gonna wait for the bilingual song, right? Because I know you're fluent in Spanish. I don't know how much you get to still practice it, but
well, yeah, I did release a full Spanish song called Despiadada. And my teammates love that one.
Yeah, what was their reaction? I mean, did you, as soon as you put your first song out, were you like, "Hey guys, check it out, see what you think"?
I think so. I posted it, and then the next day at practice, it comes on during practice, during warm-ups, and Harrison Smith and Anthony Barr, anytime they see me now, they're mocking me with the lyrics to my song. They love it. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, Alex, let's also talk about your camp coming up at Cardinal City. We know last year was just kind of a wash because of COVID-19, but the camp is back, and I know, a lot of local kids are excited about it. I know they will learn football, but what are some of the things that you're trying to teach maybe beyond football when you get these kids at the camp?
My main goal is to teach these kids that it's not even about what can I do to be the best football player and get the scholarship and make it to the NFL, but what can I do to be the best version of myself so that I'm successful after this chapter of my life, and when I open that door and step into the next chapter of my life, and then when that chapter closes and I go into the next chapter of my life. For me, it was chapters. It was high school, college, NFL, but there's a lot written in that book, written in that chapter along the way. And if you don't have the right details, if you don't have the right attention to details within that chapter, then the next one can't be what you want it to be. So for me, it's about being the best version of yourself in your current chapter in your life, and then taking the steps necessary so that the next chapter of your life can go as planned, or can even be way more than you've ever expected, beyond your wildest dreams. And that's what it's been for me. So my message to these kids is going to be nothing short of that, and just let them know that whether it's on the field, whether it's in the classroom, or whether it's in life, just be the best version of yourself and work towards being the best version of yourself in all of those areas. And, it's a great opportunity for me to come back. I see some of the guys that were little youngins when I was back playing, and now they're gone off. Some kids like Jaden Daniels and Jerome Webbers and Tyreek Jones and all these guys, Montre Moore and Day Williams, and they're all going to be there. They're all going to come back and be a part of this. And these guys are kids that have the same opportunity as any other kid coming out of San Bernardino. And it's about the details in between that you pay attention to or you don't pay attention to, which is going to make or break you.
Yeah, is that maybe the separation between, being a good athlete, like just naturally talented, and being a great athlete is maybe the details? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, definitely. There's a fine line between the greats and good, someone that was just good enough and someone that just surpassed all expectations, and it's written in the details for sure.
So whether you're taking algebra in high school or you're on an NFL squad, it's kind of the same game plan, right? Like attention in the details if you want to be great.
Yeah, definitely. I have some guys, some of my closest friends when I was in high school who are doing some great things. That I have, there was a group of friends, 4 or 5 of them just graduated from UC Berkeley. And, that's an amazing thing coming from San Bernardino to go off to UC Berkeley and not come back. And they went through the whole thing and finished. And some of them are even going into grad school now. And I count that as even more of a success than making it to the NFL. In my eyes, those are the group of friends that I had class with, I sat at lunch with, and these are people that we all had the same goal in mind to make it out of San Bernardino and make something out of your life. And I want all these kids to understand that you can do it, whether it's on the field or whether it's in a corporate office, whatever you want to do.
Well, maybe on Friday at San Bernardino High School for Alex's youth football camp, maybe we'll see the next Alexander Mattison. He might only be 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, but maybe we'll see the next Mattison coming up, from San Bernardino that's going to, make a push for the NFL, or like you said, become a lawyer or a doctor or whatever they want to be.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I know there's a lot of talent. And I think it's something in the water or something, but there's a lot of us in this city that have the potential to be great and do great things in this world and make an impact. So I'm looking forward to going out there and seeing some of these kids really just, let their gifts shine.
Well, Alex, you are definitely making a huge impact in our local area. And again, I Am Gifted. That's the brand. You better hop on board now. It's going to be big time. And again, keep putting that music on social media, man. Every time I see it, I try to share it and retweet it or whatever I need to do to get that out there. Because it's a lot of fun, man. You're talented in a lot of different things.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yes, sir. That is the great Alexander Mattison, Minnesota Vikings running back and the pride of San Bernardino High School, Cardinal City, USA, here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, and the big camp is coming up. So in the morning on Friday, he's got the youth camp. And then under the lights Friday night, it's a camp, but it's also a combine for more of the high school age kids. So Alexander Mattison, NFL star, is going to put you guys to work on Friday out there at Cardinal City. And again, check out his brand. We'll put a link in the description here on YouTube and also on social media. Where you can find his music and his brand, I Am Gifted. It's very, very cool. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show after a very quick commercial break, he is a local legend and he's standing by. The great John Corona will join us next on the Inland Sports Show.
This is Alexander Mattison. You're watching the Inland Sports Show.
The #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods. Hey guys. guys, it's Pep Fernandez from the #1 sports show in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. I wanted to let you know about the BASS School. That stands for the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. All of us are trying to find a way to get ahead in the classroom and in athletics. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wanting to give your son the best opportunity to succeed. BASS is an all-boys private middle school servicing 7th and 8th grade student athletes. They've got unique, customized curriculum for student athletes, individualized nutrition and athletic development, plus rigorous academic development with small class sizes. This is not an online homeschool. This is a private school for students who are serious about their grades and serious about their sports. BASS school enrollment for the 2021-2022 school year begins in January, so don't wait. Lock up your spot today. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for more information. We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have, we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it, but we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. A big thanks to Vikings running back Alexander Mattison for that exclusive interview here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, joining us now, I call him a legend because he is, and I know he's way too humble. It is the great John Corona, who, Coach Corona, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think today you are officially retiring from coaching. Is it actually today?
Well, yeah, Pep, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Yeah, today's basically my last day. There's still a lot of loose ends to tie up and some other things that we have to take care of. But as far as being the active head coach at Martin Luther King High School in terms of track, today's the last day.
Well, Coach, you know, when I think of you, I think King High track and field. But when I talk to my BFF, Jeff Gorham, he's like, hey, hold on. He was the basketball coach at Arlington. That's how he remembers you. When you look back on your career, obviously basketball, track and field, were there moments, were there seasons that, were more special, I don't want to say than others, but special moments that kind of just stand out? And have you had a time to reflect on that?
There's been a lot of special moments during the course of my career, both at Arlington when I was the head basketball coach and track coach there, and then again at King. I've taken a step back since I made the announcement about a month ago, and been able to reflect on a lot of positive things that happened, and a lot of great people. I got to work with great kids. It's been a great journey, and there's always negatives in this business, always. And I think sometimes you reflect when you're in the moment, you let those things kind of override the good. But I've been able to look back, and the good has far outweighed the bad in terms of my career. So I'm very appreciative.
Well, Coach, I know there's a lot of whatever the sport is, but a lot of coaches, watch this show, and I think they can relate to what you're saying, because it's not easy to be a head coach. What are you going to do now with all your free time? Probably a little less stress in your own life, but what are you going to do with your extra time now?
My wife wants to know that too. Good question. There's a bunch. I'm not going to go very far from the sport, Pep. I can see where I'll be involved in some meet management type of things, and those things like that aren't going to be a day-to-day grind. you're right. Being a head coach these days is awful. It's hard. And it's hard because there's so much more expected of us. When I started this thing back, 40 years ago, the demands weren't the same. The expectations weren't the same. The paperwork wasn't the same. And it is hard, but the reward is incredible. And like I said, I'll stay close to the sport. As you know, I'm involved with the Riverside Sports Hall of Fame. I'll be doing more work with them. I've got some individual personal things I want to try to get accomplished. And so I know it's going to take a little getting used to because I'm used to going, but it was, in the end, it's just time. It's time for me to move on to other things. It's time for a new voice for the program, a new face for the program at King. So there you have it.
Well, Coach, I do want to talk more, King High and track and field, but I do want to ask you because, we obviously love our military, and you have the King High Remembers where you have students actually talk to veterans, and it's a special thing, and it's got national recognition. I hope that's going to live on. I wanted to ask you about that as well.
Yeah, we have every intention of continuing the program. That's one of the things I'll still be involved in. Again, I'm not in the day-to-day grind of things, but I'll still be involved. And we have every intention to continue the program. It's been great for the Riverside community. It's been great for King High School. One of the great things that you find out, or we've been able to find out over the years, is that it's a two-way street. It's great for the kids, which at the beginning, that's who was intended to benefit from it, but the vets get a lot out of it too. We were able to get through the COVID. We were able to do it this year. We had to do it virtually. We had to do it online. We were able to get a Medal of Honor recipient from our time in Iraq. And we were able to interview him, tape him, and then we were able to get it out to all the history teachers. We were definitely afraid we'd have to postpone it for a year. And then we were also worried if we postponed it for a year, what are the chances of us even bringing it back again? But it was great. It was wonderful. Captain Florent Grobert was our interviewee, and it went great. And I'm anticipating that next year we'll be back doing it like we always do, face to face and in the gym and so on. So thanks for that. That's been probably the greatest thing I've ever done in education, and was getting that thing started and getting going with that. So.
Yeah, I know it's a very special event, and again, it's got national recognition. My grandfather, Joseph Ringer, World War II veteran, still going strong. He's still with us, and that's one of my goals, my personal goals, is to hear more of his stories, from back in his day. So your grandpa must be like 95 or so, but that's great. And you know what? Those are stories we can't afford to lose. Those are stories that need to be heard. Stories that we need to document and keep going. My father served in World War II as well. And currently my youngest son is serving in the United States Army, stationed with the 25th Infantry Division in Hawaii. So someday he'll be at King High Remembers sharing his story with kids. So we're looking forward to that. That's awesome. And tell him thank you for his service. We appreciate it. Coach, you said about a month ago you announced that you would be retiring from coaching. But when did you know? Was it like last year? Was it really last month? When did you know you're like, okay, I think it's time?
Well, Pep, I retired from teaching in 2019, and I said, okay, I'm going to keep coaching because I still felt like I could keep doing it. And we got into the season, and first time ever I was a walk-on coach. Well, not walk-on head coach. When I started this gig, I was a walk-on for basketball and a walk-on for track, but that was eons ago. And being a head coach is a whole different thing. So we got it going, and I at one point I just felt like this might be my last season. And then we were hit by the pandemic. We only got 3 meets in, and our job then was to keep everybody's spirits up. At the time, it was, hey, we're coming back in 2 weeks, or we're coming back in 5 weeks, or whatever it was going to be. And so and being a technological idiot, I had to be online trying to encourage the kids to keep the faith and so on and so forth. And of course, by late April, we got the word everything was canceled. So I re-looked at everything, and there was two factors here. Number one, I didn't want to end my career like that in a COVID-ended season. And second, I didn't think it'd be fair to walk away and leave, because at the time we didn't know how long this was going to go. And if it was going to go into the next season, I didn't think it'd be fair for a new guy to have to deal with being a new guy and trying to deal with the COVID situation, trying to deal with all the protocols and things like that. So I made up my mind last June, okay, this is going to be it. And I went in and I told our administration that I'll get you guys through this next year, get the team through this next year, but it was time for me to step away. So I've known for basically a year, but I didn't announce it to the team or to my coaching staff till about a month ago.
Well, knowing that this would be your final season, were you trying to soak it in maybe a little bit more? Were you trying to enjoy practices and just all the small things that you normally go through, whether it's a bus ride or what I mean, just all the small things that goes into coaching?
People think I'm nuts when I say this, but I love the bus rides. There's a lot of coaches that hate them. I loved it. I loved getting on the bus and sitting in the front seat to the right or right behind the bus driver, and basically leading our kids into competition. That was always a big deal for me. And yeah, you know what? I did take it. There was a lot of I did take the time to count the roses a little bit, to soak it in a little bit. There were numerous times I said, well, this is going to be it. This is the last time we're going to do this. We had our last away meet was at Norco High School, and Norco was the team in which I started my track career, coaching against Benny Gonzalez. And Benny and I have been great friends since that very first meet. And it got a little emotional when we were on the track. His name's on the track now, and those kinds of things. But there was also a lot of times I didn't have the time. We were constantly, as you know, Pep, the landscape changed every day. The rules changed every day. And so we'd be practicing at 3 one day, the next day we were practicing until 9 o'clock at night. Just trying to make this as the same kind of season as it normally would be for the kids, as close as we could make it. So when there was a minute or two, yeah, I would think about, okay, yeah, this is kind of it. But there wasn't a lot of time either. So I have to say that everything that was expected of us and asked of us this year, it was hard. And the people I really feel for is like our football coaches who practice from October all the way through April.
Yeah.
And they really had to stay dedicated to it. But anyway, so yeah, to answer your question short, I thought about those things a lot when I had the time.
Yeah, it was a weird spring from cross country spilling right in the track and having football season till April, and I'm sure maybe you had some football guys that also did track, and it's just kind of a weird spring.
Yeah, we tried. I know a lot of schools tried to do this. We tried to give our cross country kids a couple weeks rest before they actually got into the track season. We had a number of football kids who and see, that was another thing. The rules were different for everybody. Every district approached it a little different. Our district would not allow kids to do 2 sports at the same time. So our football kids had to stay with football. They couldn't come out till track until football was over. We lost the soccer kids who normally would be out for track. They had their season. Of course, our girls soccer team at King had a great season, won the CI championship. It really, and we usually have 200 kids on the team. And this year we carried 130, which was still exceptional for most schools, but it was down for us, and it affected a lot of things. But I'm really proud of our kids and how they answered the call and all that, and I'm proud of my coaching colleagues and how they answered the call, not just at King, but throughout the Inland Empire and throughout the CIF Southern section, because the challenges were immense.
Yeah, but what a way to go out to meet all those challenges, to actually get in a track and field season this year during this wacky 2021 spring. Coach Corona, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And it sounds like you're still going to be involved in the local sports scene. I'm sure we'll cross paths probably at a Riverside Sport Hall of Fame event coming up.
Well, at least that, Pep. And, I got to tell you, and I've told you this before, I'm really appreciative of all you've done. And I know that a lot of people in the Inland Empire feel the same way. All you've done in promoting high school sports, Inland Empire sports, we're real proud of what what the Inland Empire has been able to do, especially the last 20 years. And you've been a big proponent of everything positive about that. And a lot of the reason why people know about it is because of your show and what you and your crew have done. So thank you for everything you've contributed, and thank you for taking the time to let me be on today. I really, really appreciate it.
Yes, sir, of course. That is the legendary, I'll say it, he doesn't have to, I will say it, the legendary John Corona, officially retiring from coaching, but you still will see him on the local sports scene. So thank you, Coach. I really appreciate the time. Yeah, that is the great John Corona joining us. We had Coach Corona. We had Bert Esposito from Temecula Valley, Alexander Mattison, Minnesota Vikings running back, and, of course, Jim Good, University of Redlands head football coach, joining us tonight on the show. Big thanks to all of them for making time for us. And listen, I saved the best for last. Our director, Johnny Nunez, behind the scenes here at Teen Vision TV 16, making it all happen every single Wednesday night at 6:05 p.m. for the Inland Sports Show. I should say, quick programming note. We got the 4th of July this weekend. We are going to take next week off. We're actually going to recharge our batteries for a little bit. It's been a long spring for everybody, including us. We've been super busy this spring, so we're going to next week take it off, and we'll be back the following Wednesday night with another Inland Sports Show. We'll have more high school football as we get really close now to week 0 of the upcoming fall season. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Awesome. Thank you, Coach Corona.